Good morning, YouTube. Okay, today I have something super exciting to share with you. Today we are doing a collab video. This is a collaboration with my good friend Bree. You guys hear me talk about her all the time. From Documented Journey. I will put her channel down below and her video because together we have come up with 10 journaling questions that we will be answering and would so love to have you guys participate. If you feel so inclined to make your own video using this tag, please tag us so we can see it. We do have a hashtag. I got notes here. Hashtag journal tag 10. So keep that in mind. I will put all this information down below. But we got together and came up with 10 journaling questions. And it's going to be so interesting because everyone journals differently. So these answers are going to be different. If you do decide to participate, please let me know. Again, tag us so that I can actually put your video in the description down below too, because I would love to have a place where I can just send everyone to go watch this tag. Okay, I want to make sure I've got all my journals here because this is going to be kind of a show and tell also. So let's dive in. Number one, how long have you been journaling, and do you remember your first journal? Okay. Guys, I actually have it right here. This is my very first journal. And I think, how old was I? I think I was 7. Okay, this is from a different journal. Did I date this? Let's see here. That was March 4th, 1988. And this I got on my birthday, also 1988. So I started journaling. So this is my first, actually. It looks like this is so funny to be talking about. So this one is this much full. And then I abandoned it, went into another one, and then abandoned that by tearing the pages out. I will say that this, I consistently wrote in 1988, and then it goes into 1989, 1990, 1991. Then I wrote a little bit in 1992, 2 pages, 2 entries. 1 entry in 1993, 1, 2, 3 entries in 1994, and 1 entry in 1995. So my journaling looked very different, but I've been journaling since I was 8 years old. This is the very first journal that I ever received. It was from my cousin, and I actually said Dear Barbie instead of Dear Diary or anything like that. Today was my birthday. Today was my birthday party, and I am 8. I got clothes, Barbie, baby, and Jason, I got me this diary. It's so cute looking back. Oh my goodness. Dear Barbie. I mean, like, it's so funny. I was a Barbie girl. So yes, that was my very first journal. And I've been journaling since I was 8 years old. So since 1988. And yeah, that's a long time. Okay, number 2, what is the purpose of journaling for you, and why do you journal? Okay, so you're gonna be able to see that my journaling has shifted and changed. It didn't start how I journal now. It started where I would write down, what I did that day, like most of us do with our Dear Diaries. But now the reason I journal, and I've said this many times in other videos, the reason I journal is for clarity and healing. Clarity and healing. That is the sole purpose of journaling for me. This type of journaling. I don't journal to memory keep. Journaling is for clarity and healing. And where that began was with this book, The Artist's Way. I read The Artist's Way. I like to date every time I go through it. I first read this in 2012. Then I went through it again in 2015 so 2012, I did it by myself. 2015, I went through it with my friend Christine. 2021 and 2022, I slowly went through it with my friend Everest. And then in 2023, Ashley and I, which I'll put her YouTube channel down below, we started going through it. I have not finished. I'm actually in week 4. So 2023 and 2024, I'm going through it again. But this changed my journaling. My journaling, I often call them morning mindset pages. That was inspired by Julia Cameron's morning pages. Morning pages, I'm sure you guys know, but you wake up and before you do anything else, you do 3 pages longhand of journaling. In 2012, I did that using a composition notebook. I fell in love. I don't do 3 pages anymore. I write until I have gotten that clarity and healing that I've needed for the day. And so that's why I don't consider them morning pages. Mine are, I start with rambling, getting out anything that's on my mind, in my heart, and then I move to mindset. I always leave the page with speaking truth over all the stuff that had just come out, which I think might be another question that I probably just answered. But the purpose of journaling ever since 2012 has been for clarity and healing. That's journaling is a tool that helps me get clear and helps me heal things and rewrite the toxic language in my head. So that's why I journal. Okay. Do you ever abandon a journal or have journaling breaks? If so, why? My answer to this is kind of yes and no, because obviously my first journal, pre-2012, I abandoned journals regularly. I actually have since gone and torn sheets out and used them to write letters and things like that because I don't like the wasted paper sitting in my journals. But ever since doing morning mindset pages, there is something so fulfilling, at least for me, when I complete a journal. So, and this is like, some people have meditation practices that they do every day. This is part of my life. Like if I don't journal, there are certain times, usually it's when we have the grandbabies and they wake up earlier than usual in the morning, so I don't get my journaling time. I don't feel like myself. I feel like something's missing. So to me, this is a self-care practice that I prioritize for myself. Now, with that being said, there was a year, 2015, that I couldn't journal. I don't think I have any except for this, because it was a very difficult year. 2014, we lost a really good friend in a motorcycle accident. So the grieving was heavy. My husband and I in 2015 went through a year of hell in our marriage. It was dark. I was in a very dark place. And I found that when I was coming to my journal, the mindset part was hard. I couldn't seem to get out of the dark place. And all I wanted to do was vent. And it wasn't helping my marriage. It was hurting my marriage. and my mindset. Like it was not a time to be journaling. I will, however, say, and I should have grabbed this, 2015, I started this journal, and I'm gonna share what it is. And then I also pulled out my art journal. So sometimes when the words just feel too heavy, I leaned on color and imagery and things like that. So I did journal, but I'll even show you. So in the beginning, this was March 11th, 2015, and I journaled until let's see here. I journaled through March, and then I couldn't. I knew that this wasn't helping me. And the journal for me, again, is for clarity and healing. So if it's not helping me get clear and it's not being a tool, then it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I couldn't journal anymore. Instead, what I did, because again, 2015, horrible year for us, which ended up being amazing because we went through lots of counseling, marriage counseling. We were done in 2015. Like the only reason we went through counseling is because we had kids, and we were like, they deserve for us to at least try. And then now I have a wild, sexy marriage, and I'm obsessed with my husband, and we needed to go through that to get to where we are now. Anyhow, this is not a marriage video, but what I had to do is I started March 31st. Instead of journaling, I started writing down a gratitude list specific about my husband. So he brought me coffee in bed. Unpacking, I found a love note. April 1st, coffee again in bed. He comes upstairs to say goodbye. Like every little thing, focusing when I was struggling in my marriage on the little things that he would do that made me feel loved or grateful. That's how I was journaling in 2015, because I couldn't let myself ramble or I would be negative, and it wasn't helping us. April 9th, his long hugs. Let's see here. May 12th, the way he loves on his kids. May 16th, his belief that we are going to make it and we are going to be awesome. And I just went through, and it's gratitude specific for my marriage. Okay, so again, sometimes when the journaling no longer becomes a tool, it might be time to try something different. So for me, 2015 was very much that. Other than that, I prioritize it for myself and don't abandon or take breaks. Again, this is me. I'm not saying this is how you should do your journaling. This is just it's what works for me. Okay. Do you keep only one journal or many? Okay, so this is another yes and no. This is my current journal. It is in a documented journey cover. This is my spring journal, and it's a decomposition book. I'll take it out for you. It's a decomposition book. I just love the chunk. I have one journal. So every morning begins right here. And there's a Cat Riles image. Some days, let's see. Let me see what I can show you. Some days it's just a page. Other days that's not really. So here, I rotate colors. So this day it was this and that. Sometimes it's a paragraph. It all depends on how long it takes me to write myself out of whatever funk I'm in. So yes, I have one journal that lasts me 3 months. So this is March, April, and May. And I just like journaling in seasons. So this is my spring journal, but I do have many other notebooks. So, and there's different types of journaling. So, okay, let me show you. So then I've got, I don't have all of them here, but I keep one journal, but then I also keep other things. So that's my morning mindset. This is my poetry notebook. So in here, this is again, documented journey cover. In here, I keep a poetry notebook where I write down poems that help me, again, get clear and heal. I also keep a planner. So, I mean, technically these aren't, I don't really consider these journals, but I do keep many notebooks, many notebooks for different reasons. So this is my planner and my study book. I'm writing a novel right now. So I have a book companion journal with another comp book inside that's specific to my novel series. I have my multi-passionate notebook that I shared a couple weeks ago. So I'm in different notebooks, but not every day. Every day I'm in this and my planner / study book. But this, yep, only one. Okay, so what number? That was number 4. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Okay, number 5. What makes a journaling system right for you? What do you need in a system? Again, I kind of answered this. I probably should have read through before I just started blabbing. The number one thing, it has to be a helpful tool. It has to be a tool that provides benefits and helps me get clear and helps me heal. That's a journaling system. So now I will say, if we're talking journals, and one of the questions is favorite notebooks coming up, but if my journal doesn't have, there are certain things that my journal has to have. I need a closure. So any notebook that you see in a Bree documented journey cover is because it doesn't have a closure. If I was using a Leuchtturm, my bullet journals, I don't usually have covers on them. This, again, because I'm obsessed and need a closure, I actually have the Hobonichi bookmark thingy that I use to keep my notebooks closed. So my journal has to have some kind of closure. If it doesn't, it gets gifted a beautiful cover so that I can actually put it closed because I stuff it with stuff. Another thing that my journal system needs is I need some type of pocket in the back. So this is the one that I will eventually glue in. I haven't done it yet because having it in the cover, it sticks. I'll show you. I don't need to glue it quite yet because it stays right there. When I finish this and move to my summer journal, I will glue that in and the journal will get archived. So my journals need to have a strap. They need to have an envelope in the back, and these are specific for my morning mindset. They also need some way for me to keep pens. So I keep 2 pens in here. Where's my other pen? I think I have it up there. I keep 2 pens in the pen loop. Pen. I like to have some kind of way, even my planner has what, 4 pens on the outside and 1 on the inside. Yeah, so I have to have a way to hold my pens. I rotate colors. So this is the first one one of the ones I'm using currently. And then I have a black that I'm rotating with. So I like to have them both on there for my morning mindset. Okay, moving on. Okay, do you have a favorite, number 6, do you have a favorite notebook or pen when it comes to journaling? Yes, and size matters. Let me just start by saying that. Size matters when it comes to my morning journaling. This is a B6 for my poetry. I can use smaller ones for poetry. My multi-passionate journal is a standard, but when it comes to my everyday morning mindset, it's got to be either a composition notebook size or an A5. And like that is the go-to, like it's got to be one or the other. That's why I have most of my documented journey covers are in those two sizes. But I also have a favorite notebooks. I have two favorite notebooks, and I have different pen favorites. Okay, so favorite notebooks, composition all the way, or decomp. I will say decomp, you cannot use, well, in my situation, or my fountain pens, I like my pens juicy. And so the juicier the fountain pen, it just doesn't work very well on decomposition paper. So I am not able to use fountain pens, but sometimes that's okay with me because the decomposition notebooks get so like, they just expand and they get chunky and I just love it so much. There's just something about them. So composition notebooks, the regular ones, you can use fountain pens. So ones like, let me grab this one. Ones like this, you can use fountain pens. I do make sure that it says made in Vietnam because that's the best if you're wanting to use watercolor or fountain pens. But these, I'm just a composition notebook girl. I just am. Now, I will say, I'm going to mention one other notebook because I do love A5s and I do sometimes I move away from composition notebooks. If I were to do that again, I would purchase this notebook. This notebook is, oh my gosh, did I write it down? Okay, so this, I didn't write down the actual name. Okay, I'll look it up and put the link down below. This is a notebook from Odyssey Notebooks, and this one is Katydids, I think, is the, there's another, it's so funny. So we got a Brie sticker on the front. We got a Cat Riles on the inside. This is the Katydids Odyssey Notebook. I want to say that the actual paper and notebook are considered, I want to say cafe notes, but I get cafe notes and there's another, I don't think it's cafe notes. I think it is, oh my goodness, it'll come to me. And if not, I'll put the link down below. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. The actual style of this notebook, again, it kind of like expanded. I loved it. I loved the smooth paper. This was dot grid, and I was able to do watercolor. What year was this that I was in this? This was 2022, and I did some sketching, and even now, like looking back, that was from Create December 2022. Yes. No. Yes. So this was actually my 2023 because my winter is December, January, February. I just loved this so much. So honestly, I was kind of tempted to buy more from Odyssey Notebooks. I love the company. I love the brand. The owner is super sweet. So I almost went and bought the entire series of this specific Cosmo Air Light. I knew it would come to me. Okay, this notebook is the Cosmo Air Light notebook. It's just from Odyssey, and they have different really cool covers. So I debated buying the entire set this year, but I still have notebooks that I needed to use up. And so I decided to use what I have. So that's why the composition notebook stole my heart. But yeah, favorite notebook would be composition or A5 Cosmo Air Light. Now let's talk about pens. Okay, so for pens, it depends on the notebook. So if I'm using a decomposition notebook, like I am now, this is, I love the Pentel Energels, 100%. They are not waterproof, which is sad. They do have 3 that are permanent and waterproof, but they only come in black, red, and blue. And I just like changing the colors up. So this is like a turquoise. My favorite is they have a gray and they have a brown, and they have their black series where it's like green, black, blue, black. Oh, love those. But again, I'm using what I have. So Pentel Energels if I'm in a decomposition notebook. If I'm in a notebook that has great paper, then I'm a fountain pen girl. And yep, I got them here. You can see I am a Pilot fountain pen person. So here we have I think this is the Pilot Prera. Then we have my Pilot Decimo. And then my all-time favorite pen is the Pilot E65S, I think is what this is. Again, I'll try to put links down below. But yeah, if it's fountain pen friendly, I am all about these 3 pens. Another pen that is a favorite that I use in my Hobonichis is the Anything Jetstream. So this is a Jetstream I was introduced to it through Hobonichi in their freebie pen that you get, and now I have multiple. Okay, number 7, E95S, I think is what that pen is. The Pilot E95S. Number 7, how would you describe your journaling style? Messy and chaotic? No. I mean, yes. It's a hard question. I would definitely say that my style, I mean, yes, it's messy and chaotic because it's rambly and I don't edit myself. I just let it all out. How would I answer this? It's intuitive. That's the perfect word. I would say my style is very intuitive, which again is why if it's not a tool, then I move and I do something different. So I hope that actually answered that question. That was a hard one. Okay, number 8. Who or where do you get your journaling inspiration from? This is another hard question. Okay, obviously, YouTube. I love Bree's channel. She inspires me so much with journaling, and her Patreon. So yeah, here on YouTube, I have different journal friends that I love watching. Also, I gotta say, Julia Cameron, like, I would not be journaling the way that I am if it wasn't for her. I have read most of her books. She has one called The Write, the RIGHT, to write. She's got The Writing Diet. She's got just so many books. So she is definitely a big inspiration to me. Also, Amy McNee, I think she is Inspired to Write over on Instagram. She is a big inspiration. But yeah, I mean, there's just too many to list. Okay. What does your journaling routine look like, and how often do you journal? Again, I've kind of answered this question. I'm an everyday journaler unless my grandbabies are here and wake up before they're supposed to. But yeah, I literally wake up. My husband unloads the dishwasher. He is so sweet like that. And then brews me a cup of coffee. And so I wake up, put on my workout clothes, come downstairs. Typically, my coffee is sitting there waiting for me, and I sit down and I journal. And I typically will journal about an hour. So, and this has been going on since 2012. Now, I will say when my kids were younger, I'd have to get up earlier because then the kids get up and it's like nearly impossible. But yeah, I journal every day unless I'm interrupted. I journal on vacation, and it's the same thing. I wake up, there's no unloading the dishwasher, but typically my husband does the coffee, brings coffee over, and I sit and journal in the hotel room in bed. At home, I don't journal in the bed. At home, I come downstairs and sit right there. One of my sweet friends made me this blanket, and I sit right there and have my coffee and water right there, another Bree sticker, and I journal. I journal until I reach that mindset truth part. Okay, number 10, the final question is your one tip for a beginner who wants to get into journaling. This is hard. I would say you've got to figure out why. Why do you want to journal? Some people journal for memory keeping, and that is wonderful. That is totally, like, I love that. And I love seeing those journals. I love seeing journal flip throughs. Some people keep a sketchbook and that is their journal. And some people journal in Hobonichis and they write a little bit about each day. So my one tip would be figure out why you want to journal. What is it you need? And once you figure out that, then you can figure out how, or what. If you're journaling like me for clarity and healing, all you need is a pen and a notebook, and you can go to the dollar store and you can pick up either one of those. If you're memory keeping, you're gonna want probably some stickers or some watercolor. My lawn guy is here. So we all have different reasons. And I would say, find your reason and begin there. Now, another tip though, another big one to keep in mind, don't abandon. I know that sometimes, obviously, if it's no longer a tool, then that's different. But so many of us abandon journals and we don't abandon it like journaling. We don't just say, oh, I'm done, I'm not journaling. But we jump ship into a different notebook, and then we jump into a different notebook. I don't feel like I fell in love with the process until I stuck with a notebook. I stuck with one, and it is hard. And sometimes, especially if you don't like it, but you know what? This notebook, when I started, I was like, oh, I don't think I like this notebook. But then it's a favorite now. Like, it is a favorite notebook because when you fill it, and every page is holding whatever you decide you need in a journal, there is something so amazing about having it in your hands completed. So my 2 tips would be know your why, find out why you want to journal, and then once you have that, don't give up. Stick with one notebook, fill it up, even if it takes you multiple years, you won't be sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up because you're gonna hear the mower and all of that in the background, and nobody likes that. Okay, until next time, enjoy your wild, sexy lives, and check out all the links down below. If you participate, let me know because I would love to share your video. All right, chat with you later.